Why start and grow your own healthcare practice? For most practice owners, the answer is because they're seeking freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, the freedom to practice medicine on their own terms. But what they don't anticipate is how quickly the day-to-day grind takes over their lives. Between patient care, documentation, dealing with payers, compliance challenges, growing the practice, staffing issues, endless admin burdens. The list goes on and on. Practice owners are inevitably overwhelmed, struggling just to survive, let alone thrive. And so, to get straight to the point, we've worked with thousands of practice owners, and in every case, the real problem is that small independent practices lack systems. And these are the systems that streamline tasks and drive consistent growth. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Now, look, there are a number of external forces in the healthcare industry hell-bent on crushing you and every other practice owner out there, right? Payers slashing reimbursements, vendors escalating costs, regulators piling on compliance burdens, and hospital systems buying out your referral sources all around you, poaching your existing patients where possible, and steering your potential patients towards their own internally owned practices, right? But the truth is that given the fact that these mega industry forces literally exist to collapse your independent practice, consolidate by gobbling you up, and corporatize care to increase their financial margins, with this being the landscape that you're fighting in, your survival and your ability to thrive, and by the way, your ability to deliver better patient care, all really comes down to your practice's internal systems creating massive business efficiencies to effectively combat these external challenges. Okay, I know that's a mouthful, but that's what's going on here. That's what yields the difference between a highly successful, thriving independent practice versus one that's struggling to survive, ultimately fails, and the owner ends up getting consumed by a larger corporatized organization where they're then subjugated to the dictates of a bunch of finance MBAs, right? So at the end of the day, your success and your very independence is dependent on the efficacy and efficiency of your practice's internal systems. All right, so take a look at these two practices. Both practices are in the same specialty, same patient demographic, same geography, facing the same external challenges. The critical difference between the two, even with practice owner A's decades of experience and highly reputed status, he's putting back in out of his own pocket over $2,000 a month just to keep his practice afloat. He's not just working for free, he's actually paying out of his pocket to do work. While practice owner B, half the age, making nearly $1 million in annual take-home pay, getting amazing patient reviews, while working half as much. And the main difference between the two is strategic systems thinking. And by the way, in case you're wondering about the fate of practice owner A, we got rid of his useless overpriced marketing agency, installed our practice marketing systems, and as an aside for full transparency, I also advised him to change his billing company and his staffing mechanics. And then in less than 18 months, he went from negative $2,000 per month to now taking home around $35,000 per month. Okay? Not too shabby, right? So with that, you might be wondering, who am I? Why bother listening to me? My name is Amar Chauhan. For nearly 2 decades, I've been playing the roles of healthcare marketing executive, advisor, administrator, strategist, author, investor, and serial entrepreneur. And in wearing all these hats, the one constant is that I believe the healthcare industry should be run by doctors. And so I've had a deep passion to help doctors win back control of their practices and their lives. And so over the years, I've built proven marketing systems that I've used to help thousands of physicians grow their private practices. And over the past decade, I've successfully launched a healthcare strategy consulting firm and a healthcare marketing agency. And today, thanks to cutting edge advances in AI and automations, plus with the daily direct insights from highly successful independent practice owners themselves, I've refined and combined consulting strategy with marketing execution to create a software platform called DoctoGrow. DoctoGrow is a cost-eliminating, time-saving platform purpose-built to help private practices consistently and systematically execute every aspect of their marketing. Professional website, social media, SEO, online ads, reputation management, two-way messaging, phone call handling, newsletters. And this is all done by leveraging AI and automations to do all the heavy lifting on autopilot to then drive stable, sustainable, and scalable practice growth. So with that intro, I'll now address the growth challenges of small practices, and I'll share the key strategic insights and frameworks that the most successful practices use. Okay, so if you've ever read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, it's all about leveraging systems for small business efficiency and growth. Much of what I discuss stems from the E-Myth concept of strategic systems thinking. And I've recontextualized the timeless principles in this book for actionable success in today's healthcare practice. All right, now, if you're looking to get the freedom you envisioned as a practice owner, having the right systems in place is the key. Without them, overwhelm becomes inevitable. And sadly, let's be honest, overwhelm, teetering on the brink of burnout, is the fate of most independent practice owners today, because they either have no systems or the systems that they do have are Frankenstein together in a sort of random chaotic mess. So without systems, the practice owner feels like they can never get ahead. And so they feel perpetually busy. They have no time. They have staffing issues. They have cash flow issues. They have workflow issues. They have growth issues. It seems like every step is a struggle, and everywhere you look is yet another fire looming around the corner that you have to put out, right? And yet, there are ways to implement systems for all functions of your practice: staffing, billing, workflows, and so on. But our focus today is on driving practice growth, because growth drives economies of scope and scale to increase your financial margins and unlock practice freedom. So we're specifically going to talk about marketing systems that serve as an engine to power your practice's growth. And today, thanks to AI and automations, small practices can now harness marketing systems that would have been completely out of your reach just a few years ago, both in terms of cost and feasibility. Now, the key insight here is that a systems-based practice that commands efficiency and drives profitability does not mean sacrificing patient care, okay? Patient care gets sacrificed when small practices get gobbled up by venture groups, hospital systems, or some other corporatized healthcare organization, okay? In fact, running an independently owned, systems-based practice means exactly the opposite. It means systems handle the non-clinical work. That could be billing, that could be staffing, and in our case, we're talking about marketing. And this gives you more time, more money, and more freedom to focus on what you love, whether that's direct patient care, or scaling up the practice, or spending more time with your family, whatever it may be. And so for all you acronym lovers out there, systems save you stress, time, energy, and money, okay? So systems give you the freedom to design your practice, your patient care, and your life on your own terms. And today's systems can revolutionize and completely transform your practice's growth. They eliminate the need to hemorrhage your money on expensive marketing agencies, or to kill your cash flow on underperforming ads, or to waste your time trying to haphazardly run your own random marketing campaigns that yield little to no fruit. And so today, with AI and automations, any practice can easily afford a highly sophisticated growth systems that, with a time commitment of less than 1 hour per week by either yourself or a trainable staff member, can automate the delivery of consistent marketing actions which are necessary for practice growth. And all of it can be done without needing high-cost agencies or hiring high-salary marketers. The last thing you need to do is to bloat your payroll and kill your cash flow even more, right? So speaking of marketers, let's dig into marketing itself. If I ask 100 practice owners, or if I even ask 100 marketers, what is marketing? I'll get 100 different answers. There's a lot of confusion around it. So here, the first thing I want you to really understand is that marketing is one of the core 4 business functions of any business on the planet. Unfortunately, far too many practice owners fail to grasp this. Many even brag, I haven't marketed a day in my life, or I've never spent a single dollar on marketing. But if they understood what marketing actually is, neither of those statements would be true because they're actually constantly executing marketing actions without even recognizing it. But the problem is that all of these actions, because they're occurring without any strategic awareness or attentiveness, they end up being random, undirected, inefficient, and fail to effectively generate growth due to a lack of intentional, systematized integration. Okay? So ultimately, these practice owners either are no longer independent anymore, right? Don't take my word for it. Just look all around you. Private practices are collapsing all around us. Okay? Or if they are still independent, they're in a perpetual state of anxiety and stress. How am I going to make payroll next week? How am I going to juggle around the money to pay the bills? I haven't vacationed in a year. I can't afford to take any time off. What would happen to the practice if I wasn't there? It's a brutal way to live. And they've never achieved the time freedom and the income potential that they otherwise could have if they just understood and embraced marketing properly as a core business function. Okay, so with that understanding, now let me simplify what marketing is for you to end any confusion about it once and for all. In clear, practical terms for your practice, marketing is any activity executed to attract new patients, convert them into actual patients, and retain them for as long as possible. So that's the goal we're talking about when we use the word marketing for healthcare practices. Attraction, conversion, retention. Everything else we talk about, promoting our brand, building community awareness, launching ad campaigns, getting 5-star reviews, doing search engine optimization, posting on social media, maximizing patient lifetime value, getting referrals from referral sources, and anything else regarding building our patient base for practice growth, all fall under attraction, conversion, and retention. Does this make sense? Because it should make sense to anybody, right? And so now that we've clarified what we mean by marketing, let's look at a high-level overview of the 6 success factors of marketing. It's these factors that the most successful practices make sure to execute. And so we call these the 6 R's of successful practice growth. So first we start with reach. And reach means you need to build your practice's brand awareness and visibility for more potential new patients in your community to know who you are and that you even exist as an option for their care. Okay, now once they know who you are, you need to have a solid reputation so that they like you, they trust you, and they're interested in booking with you. But in any given market and any intersection of time, only about 3 to 5% of interested prospects convert right away. So you need to remarket your leads, which is to keep your brand visible in front of these leads repeatedly over time so that you can drive conversions when they're ready to actually book. And when they're ready to book, you need to enable them to do so seamlessly. And when they reach out to you to book an appointment, you as a practice must be ready to book them immediately without any delay. Otherwise, they'll book elsewhere with the next guy they find on Google. So you must be ready to convert them when they're ready to book. And now that you have booked patients and are growing your patient base, you need to re-engage them by staying in front of them even after their visit is complete. And you need to do this to, one, get them back for repeat visits to maximize lifetime value, and two, to prevent local competitors and hospital systems from poaching them away and steering them towards their own practice networks, right? And finally, and most foundationally in all of this, in every step of the way, you as a practice owner need to commit yourself to making sure that from before they ever book an appointment to every aspect of their visit to well after they leave, every patient has an excellent, compassionate, secure, reliable experience so that not only do they become your loyal patients, they become your raving fans and they advocate for your practice. And so you earn all of their potential referrals as well as their upstream referrals, like other doctors and facilities in your community, because they hear about your excellence from these patients. All right. So now, when we look at marketing holistically, our first key framework, what I call the R6 pipeline, should make sense to you. We can see how the three major phases of marketing are successfully accomplished by the 6 R's. Your ability to attract potential patients is a combination of your reach, both online by showing up in front of patients in search and AI engines with SEO, with Google ads, with social media ads, and in your real world community by hosting events, by networking, by doing lunch and learns for referral sources, right? Taking a page out of the Pharma Rep playbook for maximized brand visibility. So that's reach combined with reputation, which is displayed through your professional online presence. And that's the professionalism of your website, which in our digital first era today is your first impression. And it's the accuracy of your online business listings. And most obviously, it's your online reviews, testimonials, any awards and recognitions, and any other social proof demonstrating your expert authority, as well as, of course, the word of mouth about you in your community. Okay? So reach and reputation drives attraction. Now, your ability to convert potential patients into actual patients is a combination of your readiness to immediately engage incoming new patient leads from wherever they come from. And that's inbound phone calls, social media messages, web chat, text, email, website contact forms, and wherever else they come from. And by the way, immediate engagement is so important because today the average medical practice is missing 42% of their inbound phone calls from new patient leads. And a just 5-minute delay in contacting them back decreases your conversion ratio by over 90%. And so you're throwing away half your leads, okay? Because they are ready to act now. So if you're not ready, if you don't have the systems like missed call text back or missed call AI voice to engage all of these leads that are being missed by your front desk staff, then these leads are just going to call the next doctor on their list that they find on Google, right? So readiness, or what we call speed to lead, is absolutely critical for conversions. And frankly, it's what most practices fail at in their marketing. They hemorrhage money on reach with online ads, and then they fail to convert those leads that are generated because they lack readiness. Okay, so readiness combined with remarketing, which is to continually follow up with a vastly larger number of on-the-fence leads, Over 95% of leads are in research mode and doing their due diligence to explore their options. So you need to be repeatedly visible where these leads are at. And that's on social media, where the average adult spends over 2.5 hours a day, and through email newsletters to keep nurturing these leads and staying in front of them until they're ready to make a booking decision. In fact, remarketing is so important that Google itself studied this and discovered the 7-11-4 rule, which states that people are ready to convert when they've engaged with a brand for over 7 hours across at least 11 different touch points, which may be digital or physical touch points, in 4 separate locations or platforms. So really, the only way to capture this level of attention is through continual remarketing. And most practices have none of it. And they wonder why their marketing efforts aren't working, right? And so this remarketing combined with readiness is what drives conversions. Okay? And finally, your ability to retain your existing patients is a combination of your re-engagement with patients to stay on top of their minds as the expert authority in your area. Okay. And like remarketing, this also can be accomplished by using social media, email newsletters, as well as things like building online communities designed for patients with particular symptoms or conditions to feel connected, human to human, in a safe space. In a world where AI is taking over all other touch points, communities will stand out like a beacon of humanity within your branding. And so you see some of the most successful practices are jumping on building communities. And so all these re-engagement channels will keep your patients coming back to you and prevent competitors from poaching them. And so your retention is powered by that re-engagement combined with your reliability. And reliability is you delivering to patients a secure, excellent, and compassionate experience every time they have any type of touch point with your practice, so that you win their referrals and accelerate your word of mouth growth. And this falls on you as a practice owner dedicated to delivering excellence every time for every patient. And it comes back to you to make sure that your marketing systems, everything from website hosting to your review request messaging, to your online advertising lead forms, to all your communications with leads, and all other touch points are all HIPAA compliant and secure, so that patients feel secure and so that they feel like you're in their corner advocating for them. And so their referrals and word of mouth then cycles back, powering your reach and your reputation to drive the attraction of even more new patients, right? And so when you properly establish the 6 R's within your practice, you stabilize your practice's growth and create a built-in positive feedback loop for cyclical scalability and sustainable long-term success. So now the burning question is, how exactly do we accomplish all of this? Now, for the past few decades, this is how healthcare practices would accomplish their marketing. You'd hire a marketing agency, hopefully a HIPAA compliant one, right? Not some fly-by-night scam agency that guarantees patients as if they own Google, or not some dirt cheap, unregulated offshore agency that's a total HIPAA nightmare waiting to happen, right? We actually had an ENT practice join us recently after they paid over $40,000 in fines due to leaked patient data from their website because they tried to save a couple hundred measly bucks a month using some offshore website service, right? So say you do hire a proper healthcare marketing agency. Each service would have to be manually executed. So by necessity, to cover labor cost, you'd have to pay a pretty hefty price tag to accomplish your marketing. So I'm showing you some conservative pricing numbers here, okay? Building a website, $4,000, $5,000, up to $10,000, $12,000. HIPAA compliant web maintenance to prevent violations, another several $100s per month. You'll need to be searchable online, right? So search engine optimization, another $1,000 to $3,000, even $5,000 for local visibility in Google searches per month. And SEO takes time. It's a long-term strategy, but you need patience now. So you'll need online ads. That's another $1,000 to $2,000 a month just for the labor cost. Plus, you'll need at least another $1,500 to $2,000 a month in actual ad budget to even have a chance of them being effective. Now that you're gaining visibility, you'll need to build trust so leads can choose you over competitors. So you'll need a HIPAA-compliant online reviews management system. That's another several $100s a month, okay? Plus, you need to be active on social media and maintain an email newsletter to nurture leads that haven't converted and to stay connected with existing patients to retain them, because that's where they're scrolling through for at least 2.5 hours a day. So that'll cost you another $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And now, notice none of what I mentioned so far accomplishes any time of readiness to convert patients. So that's an additional cost of hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per month. So these are the expenses that you're facing just to get a baseline marketing mix with a standard digital marketing agency. In fact, just a few months ago, before we built the DoctoGrow automated marketing platform, in my own marketing agency called Acquire Patients, we charge these type of rates. Depending on the need, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month practices were paying us. Now, none of our agency clients would leave us because the ROI would be clearly worth it, but that's a lot of money for a small practice to track and commit to every month. And that's just the start. Each more advanced level of service is more money, more hassle to track and cover, and more complexity burdening your business. And that's assuming it even works, because there are a ton of agencies out there that are just fleecing down doctors, generating nothing for them in return. I mean, the truth is the marketing agency landscape is like the wild, wild west. And most practice owners that have tried hiring marketing agencies have been burned. Very few agencies understand marketing in the healthcare landscape, and those that do charge even higher rates than what we're talking about here, okay? And this is all very conservative averages, right? So that was the old way, okay? Now, here's the new way, or what I call the way of the R6 practice. You leverage DoctoGrow's all-in-one practice marketing engine, purpose-built to systematize all of your marketing using AI and automations. And so you strategically address all 6 R's to consistently execute your marketing actions to drive patient attraction, conversion, and retention, and overall practice growth. And it's internal to your practice. It's your system. So there's total transparency on exactly what's going on. It's a robust yet easy to use platform that automates and consolidates all your marketing systems and new patient lead messaging all in one place. And this is how you very affordably build a stable, sustainable, and scalable practice in less than 1 hour per week, which can easily be done by any trainable staff member. So I mentioned affordably. So the burning question is, what's this going to cost, right? That's what everybody wants to know. Now, for full transparency, depending on what you're looking to accomplish and how robust of a system you're looking for, and how many gaps you need to fill in your marketing pipeline, how many of the 6 R's are lacking, our typical engagement costs between $300, okay, as low as $300 per month to $2,500 per month, okay? Now, for between $300 to $2,500 per month, these are all the systems you're getting access to in DoctoGrow's R6 Practice Growth Engine. And in fact, there are a dozen more systems, but we don't even need to mention those because you really only need 5 to 6 of these to run on their own to accomplish what you need in order to grow. So compare all of this for $300 to $2,500 a month versus the multiple thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars you'd end up spending with a traditional marketing agency for just a fraction of these marketing systems and channels with little to no transparency on what's actually happening with your marketing. And here's the thing, even at the lowest price point of just $300 per month, to be exact, that's $297 per month, you get all the systems you need to successfully accomplish all of the 6 R's. The higher price packages just involve more advanced levels of AI utilization, ad setup, and SEO to enhance your reach, if you even want or need them. Everything else is already included, including 24/7 tech support. Okay, and now here's the question I always get asked, but isn't marketing based on reach, based on SEO, based on ads? Don't we need to maximize our reach first to get more patient leads? And my answer is no. And the most successful practices understand why the answer is no. In fact, that's actually exactly backwards. And this reach first focus, which has been what almost every marketing agency has been pushing down the throats of practices for the past 2 decades, is actually exactly why most practices fail at their marketing. Okay, so to illustrate the point, let me introduce you to the second key framework. This is called the R6 pyramid. Now, the R6 pipeline I showed you earlier demonstrates to you what marketing is in a chronological order of the patient journey, which is how a patient moves down your marketing pipeline, attract, convert, retain, and loops back to attract more, right? And the pipeline gives you a sense of coherence and a definition, but it does not give you prioritization and execution strategy. So the R6 pyramid shows you how you need to strategically think about the execution of your marketing, and hierarchically, the order of importance of how you establish your marketing within your practice. So with the R6 pyramid, we'll recap the R6 framework and how you, as a practice, need to strategically think about marketing execution. And yes, there is going to be some redundancy in what we discussed before, but we need to lay this out strategically in an executive framework, okay? So first, your practice needs to be reliable. This starts with your commitment to providing consistent, high-quality, compassionate care supported by secure, HIPAA-compliant systems. Patients need to have an excellent experience with your practice from beginning to end. And now more than ever, given the massive rise in identity theft from healthcare data breaches, they need to know their information is safe and secure. Without reliability as the bottom foundational framework for everything else, spending any time, effort, and money on other marketing activities is a complete waste. In fact, if you're delivering an unreliable experience, doing all this other marketing activity to get more patients will actually just hasten your demise as a business, as more people just have more bad experience with you faster. So long wait times, dirty bathrooms, delayed phone responses, rude staff, hurried visits, poor bedside manner, unclear billing, breaches in patient records, these will all destroy your reliability, decimate your reputation, and in most cases, we see it happen every day, end your practice's independence. So your commitment to reliability is the foundation for all other marketing and growth activity. So now say you are delivering an excellent, reliable, secure patient experience. We need to capture those experiences for the world to see, to build up your reputation. And we need to make sure that there are no glaring negative sentiments or reputational issues holding you back from earning the trust of potential new patients. So we need to ensure that you have systems in place to capture and share all of your positive feedback on a wide scale, while also positioning you as an expert authority in your domain. And that requires an attractive, professional website that exudes a positive first impression, coupled with a large volume of 5-star reviews across the internet that are recent and frequent. Okay? So now let's say you're earning trust, building repute in the community, and so people are calling in. So you need to be prepared to handle those incoming calls, the web inquiries, the social media messages, the other ways people reach out and book with you. By optimizing systems like missed call text back, universal AI live chat, and AI-powered phone receptionist, you can capture and address all these inbound calls to move them toward booking with you instead of just missing half of them, like we talked about before. And then these patients just go off to book with the next practice on their list, right? So now that you are booking patients and building up your patient base, you need to keep re-engaging them after their visit. And automations can help ensure consistent, patient-centered newsletters, value-adding educational social media content, and building online patient communities will keep your patients loyal to you and even turn them into raving fans and drive more referrals without spending massive budgets on expensive ads. And just as re-engagement continuously addresses your existing patient base, what about the massive majority of potential patient leads and website visitors that still haven't converted? You know, the guys that are still in research mode. For these, we focus on remarketing. Rather than chasing new leads, we cultivate those who have already shown interest by using systems to automate lead nurturing message campaigns and by building up more and more touch points with these leads over time with cost-effective retargeting systems, okay? And finally, once we have all these foundational systems in place, you'll now want to ramp up your reach because you're now in a position to take advantage of the increased reach to drive up attention and visibility. You increase reach with systems that power online search ads, social media ads, business listings and local SEO, advanced full scope SEO, including AI-driven search modalities like AEO and GEO, as well as your own outbound outreach marketing efforts to connect with and nurture referral sources, okay? So the R6 framework prioritizes the essentials, ensuring that your marketing is cohesive, systematized, and integrated from top to bottom, flowing together smoothly and consistently without requiring much effort, investment, or time, so that you can drive stable, sustainable, and scalable growth for your practice. So, DoctoGrow's R6 Practice Growth Engine, we've simplified all aspects of marketing for you. So you don't have to manage a bunch of different expenses, agencies, and services on a bunch of different tools, on a bunch of different platforms, with a bunch of different reps and a bunch of different vendors, right? You get access to all the systems we discussed. Me and my team will personally provide you training on how to use the platform. So as long as you or a staff member of yours has the ability to reasonably allocate around 30 minutes to 1 hour per week to execute all your marketing activity, then as compared to $3,000, $5,000, or $10,000 or more in marketing per month, instead, for just $297 a month, you'll get all the core marketing systems you need: HIPAA-compliant messaging, website builder with SEO functionality, AI-powered social media publisher, missed call text back systems, online reputation management systems with AI reply, AI live chat, AI voice agents, email newsletter creator, community builder, blog builder, referral source management, CRM, and all other systems all in one place. Just a short time ago, we were a traditional marketing agency. But now, by leveraging AI and automations, we've created a fully integrated platform that covers the entire patient journey and strategically enables you to systematize all of your practice's marketing execution. From attracting and converting new patients to retaining them long-term, we've got all the success factors set up for you to save you time, stress, and money. With DoctoGrow, you get everything you need to grow your practice without the extra cost or complexity of traditional marketing. It's a simpler, more cost-effective, more streamlined way to ensure that your practice is set up for stable, sustainable, and scalable success. If any of this resonates with you, and if you're ready to take action and grow, book an appointment with me, and we'll walk through a strategy session to explore your specific needs and see if DoctoGrow is right for you. Again, just to make the point clear, I've already shared pricing. The terms are month to month. There are no contracts and no obligations. And our goal is to collect more positive reviews. So if you do decide to book a free strategy session with me, it's not going to be just another bait and switch sales call. Instead, it's going to be an actionable strategy session where we can identify any missing marketing gaps in your practice. And only if you decide that it makes sense to move forward with DoctoGrow, you let me know. And if not, you'll walk away with a free strategy plan that's used by some of the most successful practices in the country. So now it's up to you to visit DoctoGrow.com and book a call and take action for your practice's growth. You can also email us at success@DoctoGrow.com.